Hey guys, welcome to First Friday's Wellness Cafe, hosted by me. I'm Maria, trainer Maria, and Lauren. So every month we present this to the studio, and we've been focusing on different wellness topics for the last 5 or so months, I would say. And I mean, we're getting up there. So thank you again for joining us. It's always a pleasure to connect with this group in a different way and present some topics to you guys. So pretty exciting news. Today we're shifting it a little bit. So I am going to start focusing more on body mechanics and movement patterns as my part of the Wellness Cafe, because if you think about it, wellness is about how your body moves and how you nourish it. So I'm going to move it into that focus area with my personal training. I'm able to provide a little bit more in-depth information and on that. So that's where my focus is going to be moving forward with the Wellness Cafe. So biomechanics, it is all about how your body moves. And today I thought with this shift, the best thing we can do is find our perfect squat. So I know this is a different change of pace for how we've been doing it. And I know sometimes people are still working through this, or you guys are in cars and listening. So maybe you're not able to do the squat with us live, but if you're listening or doing the recording, you can try doing the recording. So what I'm going to do is take us through perfect squat form. And then go over a little bit of different assessments. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and take a look at some of these pictures, I'll share some pictures. You can see if you have any deviations from squat form, and then you can either choose to work on your own on finding ways to correct that, or choose to work with somebody. And I'm happy to work with people with a signature series to help you, because the squat can really let you know if you have any tight muscles, weak muscles, different issues in your joints. And there's different exercises and stretches and ways that you can work to get the form back to where it should be. So that being said, welcome again to the Wellness Cafe. If you are able to stand on up, we're going to go through some of the cues for getting into that perfect squat. And then I will show some pictures. And so then the idea is you can look at yourself in the mirror either now or later with those pictures in mind, and we'll share that as part of the recording and the blog. And again, if you see that you have some deviations from what the form is supposed to look like, it'll just kind of give you some insights into what's going on with your body. And again, there's different ways to work through it. So perfect squat form. Here we go. Feet shoulder distance apart from one another. The inside of your foot should line up with the outside of your shoulder. So kind of look down. And again, it might be a little tricky if you're not showing, you can't see yourself fully. So again, I'll have these notes shared with you so you can work on it again, possibly later. But this is like the ideal perfect squat. So here we go. Inside of the feet at the outside of the shoulders. Before you move, you want to brace your core. So really activate, engage all the muscles in your core. For this exercise, there's going to be 2 different arm positions you can do. You can either bring your arms overhead by the ears, or you can bring your hands here gently behind your fingertips here, gently behind your ears. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your gaze forward. The first movement is you're going to keep your gaze forward. All right, I'm checking you guys out. All right. As you keep your gaze forward and keep your chest lifted, the first movement is you're going to break at the hips, send your hips back like you're sitting down in an imaginary chair. So let me get my feet back. Sit back down into an imaginary chair. Again, core is braced. The feet
Oops, you don't need to see me.
Distance apart. What'd you say? Oh, are we good? All right. So we're down here. Now you're going to take a look at your knees. Your knees are supposed to be behind the toe line. So your knees should not be going forward of those toes. Those knees are behind the toes, lined up between the second and third toe. So here's the squat form. So again, here or here. And again, I'll show it from the side, and then I'm going to show you some pictures. I'll share my screen. And so again, if you look, so again, bracing the core, breaking at the hips, sitting back in an imaginary chair. So we're either here or we're here, and then coming on up. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, or you have your husband or someone take a picture of you, or you do a selfie, I'm going to show some of the different ways that you should be lined up for this. So let me do that real quick here. Share screen. Hold on, I'm just sharing the screen real quick, and then I'll show you those pictures real quick. So, all right, can you guys see this image? All right, so if you present. So when you're looking at the front, from the front is the anterior view, you'll see, so there's 3 points of flexion: your ankles, your knees, and your hips, and those should all be lined up. So when you're looking, again, when you look in the mirror, you take a picture, you want all of those 3 lined up. From the side, your trunk, your back, the angle of that is the same as your shins. So again, when you then later on, take a look, see how that is looking. And then from the back, your shins, the tibia should be up and down, not turned out, not turned in. Those hips should be level. And again, that midline, your spine should be straight. So there is a quick overhead assessment, the view. Here's from the back. So a lot of people have issues with their ankles if you walk on the inside or the outside of your feet. So here's some different things that you might see when you take a look, like a deeper look at your squat. And again, there's ways to correct this. There's different foot strengthening, ankle strengthening exercises you can do. If your hips are crooked, the asymmetric weight distribution, there's all sorts of ways that you can work to correct your form of a squat. But I just wanted to show you different images so you can kind of get an idea of things to look at when you're working on your squat. So there is from the back side, here's from the side. So again, you don't want to be curving your back concave or the opposite way. You don't want to be rounding. You don't want to be going too far forward. So again, when I talk about having that gaze forward, you don't want to be looking down. Your chest is down here. You want that chest lifted, gaze forward. And again, if you can't hold those arms up here, that means you're tight up here, and there's ways to work through that. So again, get into Stretch and Express, lots of different ways to work through that. And I think that there is, oh wait, is that the last one? That I had one more image. That might be the last image I have right now, but I thought it would be fun, you know, during a live class, we can only prompt so much with the squat form. And I thought, you know, as I have this form once a month, it might be a good opportunity to get a little deeper into some of these very basic but important functional movements, and share that, you know, some insights about ways to improve that, ways to analyze it, and kind of dig a little deeper. So your perfect squat. So think about it, practice it. And again, take a picture. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me about, you know, what's going on, or if you are looking to work with somebody to try to build up some strength in different parts of your body or loosen something up. But that is it. So we're shifting gears here with mine. So that is the perfect squat form. And then, yes, the squat really does. It's correct squat form takes 200 muscles in your body to do that, upper body, lower body, and you have to work together. So it's pretty impressive. And again, that's triple flexion. It's the ankles and knees and the hips. So it really reveals a ton about your body, what's going on. A lot of times it all starts in the feet. So the barefoot training that we do together is very important. What do you see is most that needs to be corrected? You know, it really varies a lot, but a lot is wrong in the lower half of the body. Again, a lot of the injuries are starting down from the feet and the ankles. There's a lot of people walking on the insides or the outsides of their feet, and then that really bothers you all the way up. There's really tight hip flexors, so people aren't able to have that extension up top, but it really does vary. And then, yeah. Sounds good. That's a good question, Lauren. All right, so shifting gears a bit, and I'm happy to continue this conversation later, but I don't want to take up too much time because I know Lauren's got an awesome topic as well. But again, if you have any questions, I'm happy to talk more about this, and I'll share more information after when we do post this as a blog. So there we go, working our squats. Squatting while making beer. Good job, Kelsey. I love that. Yeah, at the low part of the squat, your body weight should be back. That protects your knees, so you're not putting any stress in your knees. And again, there's a lot of people with knee injuries, and it could be overuse of squatting poorly and leaning forward. So that's why you got to sit back into that imaginary chair, hinging at the waist and going down. And again, you want to keep your toes up the whole time, but that a lot of times in classes, we will say you should be able to raise your toes or think about raising your toes. So that keeps the weight back. Very good. All right. So I will switch over to Lauren. And then at the end, if we have time for more questions, I can take some and Lauren can take some. And then again, otherwise we can continue this conversation later. So thank you guys. Switch over to you, Lauren.
Thank you, Maria. That was so good. Here, I'm just going to try to, there we go. I wanted to make sure I could see everybody. And actually yesterday, I went to the PT because I've been having some like tightness in my calf and I could just tell it was like twisting outward on my foot when I was walking. And I was like, okay, that's not good. And she said my ankles are extremely tight on that side. So she gave me some stretches. So, and then she like broke up the muscle really well with her fingers. It hurt terribly, but it felt so good at the same time. It was like our barefoot massage, but times like 100. I was like, oh, I don't press this hard during our classes, but same, a lot of that the things that she said was like, your movement's not going to be correct if your ankles are tight and then your calf is tight, and then it was going to work its way up and be worse. So if you start to notice those things, taking care of it initially before it gets bad is very important. So that was awesome. Thank you, Maria. All right, so good to see all of you. We did have to postpone it by a week, but we did not want to miss August. So glad you all could make it in for this second Friday of the month. And today I'm going to be talking about routine changes because this time of year, it just feels like, and every year, but especially this year, because a lot of us were home last year with kids or work or not having to go into the office. And now we're going back to normal. And so our routines have changed a lot. And what does that kind of mean for your health? And so what we're going to do, and we're going to have more of a conversation today, and I'm going to actually have you do an activity, just writing it down. So if you have pen and paper nearby, or you can just think of it, but I like to write stuff down or I forget what was talked about. And so if you've got it nearby, just grab something and we'll jot some notes down. So kids are back to school, and this can apply to you whether you have kids or not, or if you're working or not, right? Something kind of always changes. So we've got kids back to school, maybe you're back to work, maybe you're back in the office, hours have changed, your kids are in sports, or just a change in the season, right? It's been hot, it's been humid, it's starting to actually stay darker later in the morning. So whereas the sun was up at 5:30, you notice it's a little bit darker later. And sorry, something just popped up with my computer. And so any of those things can kind of just throw us off, right, of our normal routine. Like if you're like, oh, I always used to work out in the evening and that time is gone from you. Now what do? And I know it sounds simple, like, well, I'll just work out in the morning. But what if you're not a morning person? maybe you got an injury, right? Now there's some of us that have had surgeries or injuries recently, and that throws off your whole routine. You were in this habit of, oh, good, Brittany. You were in this habit of showing up to class every day, and then you've had a setback. And how do you either work through it or just give yourself that time to take it off and then get back into that routine that you established beforehand? So when we have these changes in routines, what happens? Like, what are some of the things that we notice? So maybe we lose sleep, maybe we're sleeping way more, maybe our eating habits have changed. We are so busy now, and so instead of cooking at home, we're eating out. Maybe we're supposed to be packing our kids' lunches, but now we don't have time, so they're eating at school. Maybe you feel more stress. You're getting outside less. You have less time to yourself. Maybe you have less time with friends, right? So when we kind of look at those 7 pillars of health, and that's why this is the Wellness Cafe. It's not just about food and nutrition. It's movement, it's food, it's self-care, it's hydration, it's sleep, it's stress, it's gratitude. And so if you kind of look at that wellness wheel, if you think about it, what parts of that has changed and what areas do you feel like you're kind of lacking in now that were good before? And just giving yourself that grace, right? Things have changed. Oh my gosh, I'm back to work. My kids are in sports. I don't have any time for me. I'm not doing all this right. There's more I could do. I'm failing. So instead of having that mentality, just giving yourself that grace to say, this is my new normal, this is where I'm at, and what do I need to adjust? And instead of having a million different things that you want to try to change, we're going to try to just think of one thing today that you can start doing that's going to help some part of your new normal. And even if your normal is normal right now, nothing has changed, there's probably something that you can think of that you would like to work on. And so you can kind of just jot that down. All right, so I just want you to think of something right now. What is something that's changed recently or something that you would like to adjust that's going on? So I'm just going to give you a minute to think about that and I'll read the comments. And you can think about it, you can write it down. Oh, that's a good one, Evelyn. I love when you guys share too. You can type in anything that you want. This is a conversation. We're friends here, right? I talk at you all the time in class. So I would love if this was more of a conversation than me just talking at you. All right. So once you've got that down, what has changed recently? I want you to just think, what is something that you want? So if you thought of something that's changed recently, or what is something that you want to work on? And then what is something that you need in response to that? So if you were to listen to your body, so what does that mean that you might need? Do you need more sleep? Do you need more rest? Do you need more workouts, right? We don't have to go hard all the time, but do you notice that like, oh, that's gone. Like I used to work out all the time and now I can barely get in a couple classes per week. Do you need some good old sweat? Do you need to get outside? Do you need to connect with friends, family? Do you need more time alone? Do you need to drink more water? Do you need to eat more often or less often? That's kind of a joke, but do I need to prepare more meals at home versus eating out? And these are just ideas, right? You don't have to put all of these down because again, it can get too overwhelming when we want to make a ton of changes at one time. So just pick one thing that sticks out that would make the most impact. All right. And then which of these things, and if you kind of think about your crazy schedule, what is something that you can let go that would help your situation? Can you put off the cleaning until later? Can you make your kids clean your house? Christina, that's for you. We talked about the yesterday. She's like, I need to clean. And then she was looking at her boys. She's like, I should make them clean. I'm like, yes, you should. Can your spouse, can you get a house cleaner? Is it okay if your kids just get lunch at school and you don't have to prepare lunches? That's okay too, right? Taking some of these little things off your plate for the time being. And don't be afraid to ask for help. VFitters are go-getters, right? You're motivated, you show up, you try to do everything, you balance work, you balance life, and you want to just do all of it all the time. But it's okay to ask for help and get some of that off your plate so that you're able to focus on you and your health so that you don't have all this stress building up and letting all these good habits go that you've built. All right. So after you have that all written down, I want you to write down one small thing when you look at your list or that's come to your mind that you would be able to start changing soon. Just one small thing that you could do. Because most often when we can start making small positive changes that are easy and we start feeling good and we're like, I can totally do this, they start building on each other and then we're able to make more changes as opposed to feeling defeated when we weren't able to accomplish what we set out to do. So go ahead and just think of that. I'm just going to read because we have 16 chats. I got a little behind. And if anybody wants to unmute themselves, we still have about 10 minutes. So I would love it if anyone would like to share. I'm going to read some of these, but if you want to unmute yourself and share, I would love that too. So I'm just going to start reading. Yes, Brittany, we need more hours in the day. Good one. Okay, Christina is going back to full-time work in September for the first time in 10 years, and she has 4 boys at home. So everything's going to change. So I know you're probably already thinking about it, like, when am I going to get my classes in? Do I need to wake up earlier? I used to do classes during the day, and now that's not an option. Okay, so I see a lot of that. So Sarah agrees, going back to school, a stronger morning routine. Sina feels the same. Allie feels the same. Kids back in sports 4 evenings a week. Yep, I'm on the same page with you, Allie. Now they have sports every week, so I'm kind of sad to see my dance go. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to find my happy dance somewhere else in a week. Okay, Kelsey, get back into regular workouts, meal prep and sleep, right? Lots of stress from work. Okay, so we've got a lot of similarities. Mary asking for help. Yes, we can't do everything, and we don't need to do everything, right? That's why we have other people in our lives. Rochelle, oh my gosh, you guys, Rochelle needs 2 Roombas. You should see her. That Roomba, she probably does. Maybe that's what we can get her for her birthday, her 40th. Just kidding. Okay, Sarah says cleaning, hire a house cleaner back. Yes, and sometimes if you think, okay, money is my barrier, maybe there's somewhere where we can like give and take if it's going to make that much of a difference for you. Absolutely. Packing lunches, less time on the phone. Oh my gosh, Sarah, that's such a good one, right? We say we don't have time, and then how much time did we spend on our phone? I know I'm guilty of that. Sina said setting boundaries is one thing I'm really focusing on right now. That's huge. And that's not easy either, Sina. It's very hard. Getting back to bed earlier. Oh my gosh, Brittany, congrats. She started her doctorate. And so she's trying to kind of figure out like, where is she really going to loosen up find some space, some time to do these things. Ooh, these are so good. And that's the other thing. I saw a lot of people wanting to get into a morning routine. So we have more early morning classes, right? We've got friends, we've got all of us here, you've got trainers. So if you're looking for that accountability, we've got Bridget, you guys. Bridget has an accountability for her signature series, an accountability program that's 3 weeks long. And I think she's had a couple people here actually sign up, and she finds really fun ways to help you get back into classes. Bridget, if you have anything to say as part of that, you go for it. But that's a really good investment, right? Because your health and getting back into classes is really important. And I know it's not always easy. Oh, and Sarah's sleep training her 3-year-old. Sarah, good luck. These are so good. Okay, so also, if you didn't have something clearly set at the end of this practice, I just really encourage you to write down one very specific thing that you could do. And you might have written that down. Some of these are really good, but sometimes they're so broad, it's kind of like, what does that even mean? So part of the goal setting would be, go to bed, like put my phone away, get kids in bed, go to bed by 8:30 p.m. I know that's really early, but that came to my mind. So just having them really specific so that you're able to kind of track, like, am I doing that? Am I getting more sleep? Oh, I'm going to bed at 11. That's not in line with what I had set out to do. Or if you're saying, oh, I need a better morning routine, what does that really look like? Maybe it's signing up for 3 morning classes per week and then reaching out to someone to say, hey, make sure that I'm there. Text me in the morning, reaching out to your 6-month groups. Having buddies to meet you there is huge. Yes. Rochelle said, Bridget's amazing. If you want to start a solid routine, she's a magician. It's crazy. I know. I want to sign up just to see what she does. I'm so curious. All right. And Sarah has night mode on her phone to shut the apps down at 9. That's perfect. That's actually a great suggestion, Sarah, because I used to do that and I have since not. But it's good because it reminds you and then you go, okay, you're right. I need to be done for the night. So really good suggestions. Awesome. Okay, would anybody else like to share anything? Or if you want to unmute yourselves, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes left. If you have questions for Maria. Great turnout today, friends. Oh, Kels, yeah. She keeps her phone, her books on her phone. Do you find that you like deviate? You like close the book and go look at something else? No? Okay, then you're good. You just read. All right.
But my worry is before bed. I'm doing that before bed off of a phone.
Right. So then you're like looking at your screen and then trying to go to sleep.
Yeah. Mine is quite a bit different from any of the others. And like you said, everybody has their own individual issues, situations that they're dealing with. And I love taking classes. And my problem is I re-injured my lower back 3 months ago, and I didn't want to give up on my classes. And I just, tried to do modify a lot. And I haven't been able to get to where I need to be completely pain-free, no issues. And we've been on, it's interesting because we're on vacation right now. And so I did not do any classes Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. My first class was Wednesday morning. And I was pain-free really those days that I was laid off. And after I did my class, my barefoot class on Wednesday morning, I started feeling it again. And yesterday I did a couple and I felt it during the night. So I'm in this quandary. And the only thing I could come up with, you were mentioning about solutions, is to just not take the classes that I know are going to aggravate it and focus more on stretching, just do all the stretching, do all the yoga type classes, the ones that I know shouldn't be an issue for me, and I love my classes, and it's really hard to not do cardio dance like I did yesterday. And so that's my issue.
Yeah, that's tough. And just kind of looking around the screen, like everybody's nodding their head, because I think we have quite a few people. And I've been there before where you really, like, you just want to go do what you can normally do and it's setting you back.
Right.
So I think I know it's frustrating, and a lot of us can understand where you're coming from. So I would say for now, yes, do things that are not going to aggravate your back. And then I don't know if you've done it already, but definitely getting it checked out to just see if there's anything else. And if for Michelle go ahead.
I've been in physical therapy for the last, I don't know, maybe about 5-6 weeks. But I think after not doing any classes for 4 days and seeing the difference, I know the answer, so I just.
It's just hard. I know. And it's okay to say that and put it out there, right? You're going to get a lot of support from people who are like, same. So I'm sorry about that, but you're doing all the right things. And if Maria or Rochelle has any more input, or anybody else who's going through it, please share. But I'm sorry, Linda.
Thank you.
It's temporary.
Oh, there we go.
No, you can go, Maria. I was just gonna say, Linda, it's temporary and it's not just one step at a time.
Yeah, and it's good that you're at the PT and just listening to your body as much as you can, and really working to build up the muscles in the core that are stabilizing your spine and your back, and you'll get it back, but trying not to jump in too quickly back to where your body was, because it's not in that same space anymore, I would say.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, and if you saw the messages, yes, Allie's right there with you. I know she was kind of debating, like, do I still log in and modify and kind of get bummed out that I can't do it, or do I just not show up? And I think everyone has a different take. I know Christina still liked to log in and walk around and see everyone's faces and just modify. I know sometimes that can be hard, but sometimes we just need that boost from our friends in class. All right. Well, thank you so much for all the input. I loved our conversation today. So before we sign off, is there anything else anyone would like to share? Yes, Kelsey's had an issue with her knee for quite a while. And she would modify, she cut back on classes and not pushed as much, which I know for Kelsey was really hard, but you did it and she's feeling better. So we just have to be patient in the meantime. All right, Bridget, do you have anything you want to add about accountability? I'm so glad you came, Bridget. Okay, she's all 1 minute. We'll just wait. Oh, she's working, you guys. She can't talk. Thanks, Bridget. She's working. Okay, anyways, if you need more accountability, reach out to members or reach out to Bridget, and she can put together a really fun 3-week program to kind of get you set in your new routine if you've got a big change coming up and you still want to stick with your classes. So with that, I think we will sign off, and I appreciate all of you so much for coming in and joining and sharing. And we have fun with you every month.
Yes,
So
thank you everyone for coming. You know, we really do love getting to put this together and hosting this. And so we will be back next month, first Friday of September. I'll be going through transitions with my kids starting school that week. And the signature series will open up again for signups that the last week of this month for next month. So if you have any questions on how it would look working with me or Lauren on that, let us know. All right, ladies, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Happy Friday.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.
Thank you. Thank
Bye,
you so
you're
much.
welcome. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys.
Friday the 13th.